And just like that, the Carolina Panthers just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs 30-27. Even in a loss, this was a win for the Carolina Panthers. And you may call me crazy. They went out there and they performed up to competition. They looked like a superstar team today. With the way that they went out there against the Kansas City Chiefs, they fought to the very end. And usually around this point in time of the season with the Carolina Panthers over the last few years, they would give up. They gave up on Frank Reich. We saw they gave up on Matt Rule. They have not given up on Dave Canales. And what is most important in this entire situation, Bryce Young looked very good today. This would be the game that you could point at and say, hey, this is when Bryce Young became a potential superstar in the NFL, because he looked like a franchise quarterback in today's matchup. He was 21 of 35 for 262 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 0 interceptions. Did he have a couple of throws that he would like to have back? Sure. But when he would go out there and he would miss a throw, he would come back with a great decision deep down the field. Bryce Young answered a lot of questions today. Over the last few weeks, they defeated the New York Giants, and they went out there and they defeated the New Orleans Saints. They're not some of the best teams in the NFL. This is a very good defense by the Kansas City Chiefs, and also a team that is very good at going after the quarterback. All season long, this offensive line has looked good. The Carolina Panthers offensive line has been the top offensive line in the NFL, in my opinion, because you added in those 2 top guards in Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis. Ickey has played better at left tackle position. Taylor Moton is a solid veteran to have at the right tackle position. And they protected Bryce Young. But at the same time, Chris Jones was getting through up the middle of the field. And Bryce Young is your type of quarterback. He likes to step up in his throws. He was stepping up into pressure today against Chris Jones over and over again. And he did not let it faze him. And he was running inside and outside the pocket, making plays. It was so many times this game to where Bryce Young could have easily just thrown an interception or have thrown the football away. But he was fighting through contact and he was getting the football out quick. This is the guy that you wanted to see coming out of Alabama a year ago. And I know statistically he had a better game last season against the Green Bay Packers. He looked very good in that matchup. But this is against the Super Bowl reigning champion. You're going against one of the best teams in the NFL, the best team in the AFC statistically. And you go out there and you carry the offense on your back, this is what first overall picks should do. And let's give Chuba Hubbard a lot of credit. He averaged 4 yards a carry today. He had 59 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, but he only had 16 carries. And this was Jonathan Brooks' first game in the NFL. He only had 2 carries for 7 yards. Bryce Young did majority of the work. If he can do this on a consistent basis moving forward, there is no need to even consider drafting a quarterback in the first round because you have so many defensive problems. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs the same way other teams have in the past, the same way the Buffalo Bills have, the same way the Baltimore Ravens have. By 1 score, they lost to this team by 3 points. And this is a Panthers team that went out there and benched Bryce Young earlier this season in favor of Andy Dalton. I am proud of Bryce Young. He's battled through adversity on and off the field. Like I mentioned, I gave him a lot of criticism in the past when he was not playing good. I'm going to give him his flowers right now. Over the last few weeks, he's played solid, but in today's game, he looked like a superstar. And I'm not exaggerating. He did everything that he could to go out there and win them this football game. But the defense let him down. They could not stop Patrick Mahomes late in the game. And he ran all the way until he got the Kansas City Chiefs into field goal range. The biggest problem with the Carolina Panthers defense right now is pass rushing. And I'm going to talk about that in the next couple minutes. When I look at the rest of the offense, they played very well. David Moore was the leading wide receiver, which was very interesting to me. I thought it possibly would have been Xavier Legette or Adam Thielen, but hey, David Moore is not a bad wide receiver. 6 catches, 80 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. Adam Thielen only had 3 catches for 57 receiving yards. Adam Thielen caused a lot of penalties in today's matchup. A lot of them. Adam Thielen was going out there getting wide open to where the Kansas City Chiefs cornerbacks, they were holding on to him. He is still one of the best route runners to have in the NFL. And this was his first game back since they went against the Las Vegas Raiders many weeks ago. Over a month ago, to be exact. I like the offense with Dave Canales. Let him continue to go out there and let him build this team through his image. Continue to work with Bryce Young because he is still in development. This is just year number 2. But we're starting to get more answers by the week with Bryce Young. He's looking better. If he can do this and he can just perform up to this level and just get comfortable in this system and get more comfortable with the offensive line, because he still has problems inside the pocket. It's not because of his own style of play. It's because of how bad the offensive line was last season, because he was the second most pressured and second most sacked quarterback in the NFL. But over the last few weeks, he's trusting the pocket more. He's hanging inside the pocket, and now he's stepping up into his throws against bigger defensive tackles. And what was the one knock on Bryce Young coming out of Alabama? Well, he's too light to play in the NFL. He's too small. He doesn't look like it. He can't see deep down the field. Yes, he can. Bryce Young has looked good the last few weeks. I'm going to continue to give him his flowers. But if they can continue to build on this with Xavier Legette and JT Sanders, who did go out in today's game, the big tight end, which sucked to see they had to cart him out. He flipped on his head. I really hope that he's okay. My prayers go out to him and his family, because he has been an amazing tight end this year with the Panthers, with all things considered. I really hope that he's okay and he can play moving forward, because he's the all-time leader at Texas in terms of being for tight ends and receiving. He's a phenomenal player. He's going to continue to grow and continue to develop. But the offense today, they looked very good. They did everything that they could do to go out there and win this game. This was just a heartbreaker. But at the same time, it's a lot of positives. Now, when I look at this defense, they went out there and they were getting after Patrick Mahomes all day. They sacked him 5 times. And they made life tough on Patrick Mahomes. They did have a lot of crucial moments to where they could not get to Patrick Mahomes. He did have 3 passing touchdowns on the day, but this is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And the Carolina Panthers defense statistically is still one of the worst defenses in the NFL. They did a very good job of neutralizing the run and stopping the run into the last quarter, into the fourth quarter. And we also have to realize this. The Carolina Panthers offense, I'm giving them a lot of credit. They had a lot of times they got into the red zone. They'll take 3. They'll take 3. They'll take 3. It wasn't until the later stages of the game they were able to go out there and finally score some touchdowns. And then they had to go for a 2-point conversion. They converted the 2-point conversion with Chuba Hubbard. And that's how they got the touchdown, with Chuba Hubbard. The defense, they played well enough to also win. That is what sucks. Sometimes it happens in the NFL. That happens in any type of sport. The team plays good enough to win, but it just did not swing their way. For this defense to step up the way they did today with Coach EJ, I will give them credit. They were coming after Patrick Mahomes. In the secondary, they held up. Michael Jackson had a beautiful play towards the end of the game on Xavier Worthy. And Xavier Worthy only had 46 receiving yards on the day. Noah Gray was the leading receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's a tight end. He had 66 receiving yards. Travis Kelce, 62 receiving yards. DeAndre Hopkins did have the 1 receiving touchdown, but that was one of those plays where Patrick Mahomes is scrambling around and the coverage on the back end, they just let things up. DeAndre Hopkins gets open in the backfield. It's one of those broken plays. What can you do at that point? The defense could have played better throughout the secondary, but at the same time, listen to what I just told you guys. They just played very good against their wide receivers. It just did not come down to them winning. But the fight that they showed today was amazing. Bryce Young looked amazing. The run game was consistent. And even when the run game wasn't there, when it was not an option, when they fully stacked the box, Bryce Young found a way. This was a character-building moment for everyone in the Carolina Panthers locker room. And if you are a Panthers fan, it does suck to lose a football game. But you lost by 3 points. You're just a couple plays away from possibly going to overtime. And how the game was shaping up, if you win that coin toss, I do believe that Bryce Young drives down the field and you at least walk away with a field goal. Because it was not like the Kansas City Chiefs defense went out there and they constantly stopped Bryce Young over and over again. The offense was not anemic today. It was alive and it had a pulse. This was one of the best games the Carolina Panthers have played in a very long time. I'm talking about just a franchise at this point. You have to go back to the Ron Rivera days to see them play a complete game like this with Cam Newton at the quarterback position. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about this loss for the Carolina Panthers? And how do you feel about Bryce Young moving forward? I think the Carolina Panthers possibly have their guy. But we'll see moving forward. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless.